Good morning, Year 5, and welcome to your Friday maths lesson. Now, I know that yesterday I promised that we would have a go at some word problems today, but what we're going to do is we're going to just focus on subtraction today, and then on Monday at the start of next week, you're going to be able to apply everything that you've done today and everything that we did yesterday to be able to do some 2 and 3 step word problems. So let's have a look and dive straight in. So on our first slide, just a quick misconception that I'd like to address. In our Puma papers, quite a lot of people, when they were trying to do 60 take away 45, were doing 0 take away 5 and got 5 from it. Now, you can't take 5 away from 0, so we do need to borrow from next door. Subtraction is not commutative, it can't be done in both ways. So it meant that a lot of people were 10 out with that answer because they forgot to borrow. So just remember that if we've got 0 take away something, unless it's 0, we do need to borrow. So can you have a go at those fluency questions for me? For the deepen and stretch, can you have a go at showing it in a column method, but also writing a step-by-step guide on how someone who's never done column method of subtraction before might approach it? So pause it, and on the next slide, we'll have a look at the answers for the fluency. Okay, let's have a look and see. So 4,571 take away 2,390 is 2,181. 5,683 take away 1,862 is 3,821. And 6,816 take away 2,903 is the same as 3,713. Hopefully with your deep and stretch you managed to give a really concise explanation, and please send them over to me. I would love to see them and possibly use them in the classroom as well. So when we are using the column method for subtraction, we have to make sure that we lay it out correctly. We need to make sure that the ones are on top of each other. This is where squared paper comes in really handy. If you don't have access to squared paper, just make sure that you've got your numbers quite spread out so that it's clear which ones are in the ones column, which ones are in the tens column, because that will make your job easier. Always start from the lowest value column. In today's lesson, that will be the ones column that you're starting from. But remember that when later on in the year we go on to do decimals, we would start from whatever the lowest value column was. And if you can't do the sum, you borrow from next door, and we would exchange those that one from next door. And we'll have a look and see what that would look like as well. So here we have a sum. We've got 5,387 take away 1,500. Yeah, 5,387 take away 1,539. There we go. Can you have a go at that? And then we'll skip on through the slides and I'll show you what it should look like, and I'll show you how it looks using place value counters so you can see what the column method is representing. Okay, so we can't do 7 take away 9, so we have to borrow from next door. We take 1 10 and turn that into 10 ones, which means it becomes 17 take away 9, which gives us 8 ones. It was 8 tens take away 3 tens. Now we've borrowed one of those tens, so it's 7 tens take away 3 tens, which is 4 tens. 300s take away 500s we can't do, so we have to borrow 1,000 and change that to 10 hundreds. So 1,300s take away 500s gives us 800s, and 4,000s take away 1,000 gives us 3,000. So we end up with the answer of 3,846. And when we have a look using place value counters, here I've already put in 5,300, 8 tens and 7 ones to make 5,387. I can see that I can't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't take 9 away from the ones column at the moment. So I'm going to take my 10, and I know that 10 is the same as 10 ones. So I'm going to exchange that 10 for 10 ones. Now, the joy of this is that they don't really fit, and it does take a slightly annoyingly long time. So there's 4 of our ones. Let me duplicate them to get to 8 ones. And then we'll have 1 more. Sorry, 2 more, because we need to change it for 10. So there we go. I've changed one of my 10s for 10 ones. Now I can take 9 away. My apologies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. Oh. Let's do it from down here. So there's 7 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I I get rid of them, then I'm left with, hopefully, 8 ones. There we go. Slowly getting the hang of the technology. Now, in the next column, I did have 8 tens. I've exchanged one of them for 10 ones, and I've got to take 3 tens away. I can see that I can take 1, 2, 3 tens away. So I'm left with 4 tens. Now I've got 300s, and I have to take 5 away. I know I can't do that. So I'm going to take 1,000, and I'm going to exchange 1,000 for 10 hundreds, because I know that 1,000 is the same as 10 hundreds. So 1, 2, let's 3, 4. I have to do it up here just because I don't have enough space on there. Normally you would try and pop it all in the same place. There we go. There's my 10 hundreds. Now I need to take 5 away. So let's go with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get rid of them. Put these in here, which leaves me with 800s. Now I had 5,000s. I've had to exchange 1 for 10 hundreds. So I've got 4 left, and I'm going to take 1 more away. So that leaves me with 3,848. We get there in the end, don't we? So have a go at this one. If you want to show it using place value counters as well, you can, and you may find that you're a little bit more effective than I was there. Okay, so let's have a look. Can't do 4 take away 7, which means I need to borrow from next door. 14 take away 7 is not 4, it is 7. I can't do, sorry, I had 8 to take away 3, and now I've exchanged one of the 10s for 10 ones. So 7 take away 3 is 4. Can't do 1 take away 3, so I have to exchange one of the thousands for 10 hundreds to make it 11 hundreds. 11 take away 3 is 8, which leaves us with 3 take away 1, which is 2. Now again, if I have a look over here, I've got 4,184. I can't take 7 away from 4, so I'm going to need to take a 10 and exchange it for 10 ones. So there's 1 1, 2 ones, 4 ones, 8 ones, and 10 ones. Now I've got to take 7 away altogether. I've got 14 ones that I'm going to take 7 away from. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'll pop these back in the ones column, which leaves me with 7 ones altogether. Now I had 8 tens. I've had to exchange one of them for 10 ones so that we could work out the 1 spot. And now we're going to take 3 more away. So 1, 2, 3. That leaves me with 4 of them. I've got 100. I'm going to need to take 3 away. I can't do that. So I'm going to need to take an 1,000 and exchange it for 10 hundreds, because I know that 1,000 is the same as 10 hundreds. There are 2 of my hundreds. Let's go through this lovely long process again. 2, 4, 8, and 2 more to make 10. Now I've got to take 3 away altogether. So 1, 2, 3, and then I can put the others over in the hundreds column, which leaves me with 800s. And finally, I did have 4,000s. I've had to exchange one of my thousands for 10 hundreds, and I've got to take 1 more away. So I'm left with 2,000s, 800s, 4 10s, and 7 ones, which if I look over here, is the same answer that we had in our column method. So that gives you that visual representation of what's happening when we use the column method. Now, obviously, this way is significantly quicker, but it is very useful for us to know exactly what's going on with it. So there's 3 lots of challenge today. It's completely up to you what you want to do with it. First of all, we've got 9 arithmetic sums using exchanging. They are using 5 digits, but it's still the same process. So you can work your way through them. All the answers are at the end. So pause it on here and then go to the answers afterwards. Here we've got some missing digit problems. So can you work out what missing digits would go into each box? Being very careful to make sure that you take into account the fact that you may have to exchange at some stage as well. With these questions, always do the sum to check at the end, because it might be that you've made a little bit of a mistake sometimes. And finally, a more open-ended one. So I have three whole numbers, A, B, and C. Each is 5 digits. The difference between A and B is 12,345, and the difference between B and C is 54,321. What could my numbers be? Find three possibilities and show your workings. Now, at the end, there is one example of an answer for the third challenge, but it might be different to the one that you have. So just double check it or send it over to me and I can double check them as well. So let me go through the answers with you. Here are your answers for the arithmetic questions. Here are your answers for the missing value questions. And here is one possible set of answers for your challenge at the end. Now, as always, if any of that was a bit confusing, if there's any bits that you weren't sure about, then please feel free to email me. If not, then I look forward to seeing all of your maths work and seeing how you guys got on. Best of luck.